Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's MacklinGaming, and so far we are halfway through the year 2025, which is crazy to say already. And there have already been some great games that have come out, and I'm going to rank my top 5 favorite games that have come out in the first half of the year 2025. We have had a year that I thought would be a little bit more stacked at this point, because I feel like so far in the first half of this year, there haven't been that many bangers, but there were definitely a few, and those are going to be at the top of my list. Some surprises and some old favorites coming back remastered. Just one. I picked one remaster. Let's get into my top 5 favorite games of the first half of 2025. All right, I'm going to start out with the game that it comes along with the new hardware, and that in itself is a reason to put it on this list. But I do love the game. It looks beautiful, and it's the first showcase of the new hardware. I'm talking about Mario Kart World on the Nintendo Switch 2. This game looks beautiful. If you wanted to see what is Mario, what is Donkey Kong and Luigi gonna look like on the Switch 2 with NVIDIA's new graphics card, and like what are their animations and their details gonna look like on the characters, well, you get a glimpse of it here in Mario Kart World. They look amazing. You know, every little turn and jump they make, their hats are bumping around and flying off their heads, and like they're scooting around. You see these animations in the carts and on the characters. They're really lifelike and really fun to watch. So, you know, Mario Kart is what it is, but it's got some new features. It's got the new jumping mechanics and like grinding of rails. It's got the knockout tour, which is super fun, and the open world aspect, which I really like. I'm not going to say it's like a 10 out of 10 open world Mario Kart, but if they fleshed out that open world a little bit more and maybe updated it as the game goes on in the coming years, I think that could be an even stronger part of the game. So I'm going to put Mario Kart World here along with the Switch 2 at number 5. All right, moving on to number 4, I get an Xbox game in here. That is Doom: The Dark Ages. Yeah, I love Doom. I love the metal soundtrack that comes with Doom. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not like a huge Doom psycho to where like Doom Eternal was not my favorite Doom. It was crazy fast. It was too fast. And it like almost gave me motion sickness. And games never do that. But that game was like insane. I thought I was going to have a seizure. You know, so playing Doom: The Dark Ages, they slowed things down in the development of this game. And, you know, it has the sliders in the settings, like you can change the speed of the game or the difficulty. And I just left it at the default, and that was a great speed for me. I did lower and narrow the parry window, you know, with your shield. I tried to make it more challenging, make that parry window tighter. But the default speed of the game for me was great. The art design of the dark fantasy Doom, I really loved as well. And the levels were much bigger, and you could explore. It wasn't just non-stop, like no time to breathe action. You know, there's like puzzles and little collectibles to find off in the sides of the levels. That was really fun for me. I love the exploration that they added into Doom: The Dark Ages. So I'm putting Doom: Dark Ages at number 4. All right, we're moving up to number 3. This is where I throw in a remaster because this is one of my favorite games ever made. You know, I have like a Mount Rushmore of games, and this game is on there from my high school years. This like revitalized me and reopened my eyes into video gaming, and that is Oblivion. So Oblivion Remastered coming in here. It dropped in April, I believe. Played it on Game Pass. I don't have it physical or anything, otherwise I'd be waving it around because I love Oblivion, and it's a great remaster. It really is. The game itself is jank, and how do you go back and fix a janky game? You know, you can't really. They just put a beautiful coat of paint over it, and it's like, here are the bugs, here are the glitches. You know, I still love Oblivion, and I'm gonna play the crap out of it even more. I'm not done with it, you know, but it's just fun to go back. They left the music intact, like the soundtrack is perfectly the same. A lot of the voice acting is the same. They've just added more to it, which I like. So the changes that they made, I really like. You know, I don't blame them for not being able to clean up the glitches and stuff. They're still out there, and like the traversal stutters there, but hey, it's Oblivion. It's a special game for me. So that is coming in at number 3 on my list. Now we're down to the top 2, and these games I actually have physical, baby. These are the 2 best games, my 2 favorite games of the first half of 2025. And number 2 is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So I loved playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when this came out. It ran so beautifully on the PS5 when most open world games don't, you know, but this was a great 60 frames, looked great, like the image quality was great, and it was an awesome game. The quests were amazing. All the side quests were interesting, not quite the level of Witcher 3, but still really fun and engaging side quests, which made the game a lot of fun. My only drawback with it is, you know, the open world itself, when you're walking from point A to point B, it feels empty because they just went for complete realism of like medieval times. You know, this is not, there's no like fantasy monsters to fight in the woods or any magical things to come across. You know, it's like you're just gonna find some wolves out there, some wild dogs, you know, and maybe some bandits, and that's what you're fighting the whole game. So the open world is what it is, but it's a beautiful looking game for the graphics and the nature, and the quests are very strong. You just role play as this kind of peasant who's become a knight, and you have to protect your prince, Hans Capon. So you're just constantly trying to get him out of trouble throughout the game's storyline, and it's a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend you play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 if you like open world RPGs. And so now we're down to my number 1 game of 2025 so far. I think you guys know what it is because it's a lot of people's number 1 game of the year. And people are screaming for it to be game of the year when it's all said and done. That is Expedition 33, Clair Obscur. Expedition 33. What a special game. You know, I'm not gonna go and say, oh, it's the best game ever, like some people are saying, but it is so far the best game of the year because it is a fantastic story that, you know, 30 developers broke off from Ubisoft, the big corporate grind of, you know, only make games that make us money. You can't develop any other kind of games. But they went and they developed a game that they would love to play, that they would love to make, and they did it on their own without anyone telling them what to do, and that became Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and it's a special game because of that, as well as the combat is very unique. You know, there are other games still out there that are doing turn-based. It's not the only game, you know, but it does turn-based combat in a very unique and satisfying way to play. So Clair Obscur Expedition 33, it's a tight little storyline. It's not the longest RPG you've ever played. It's not the shortest either, you know, but it's like a perfect amount of gameplay there. And the price of the game is very special as well. It's $50 instead of like $70 or $80. And because of this, people are giving the game overwhelming amounts of praise. And I have to be right up there with them. You know, I couldn't think of any other game so far in the first half of the year that is better than Expedition 33 or that has made a bigger impact. This game has made a huge impact on the industry. I think we will notice that looking back on the years to come. Like, this game changed the way you should price your games, or how long a development cycle should be, you know, or, you know, do you have to be a huge AAA studio, or can you make like a AA RPG and have success? And they proved that you can. So good on them. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 from Sandfall Interactive, I believe they're called. So anyway, that is going to conclude my top 5 games of the first half of 2025. What do you guys think? What games did I miss out on? There are a lot of games I didn't play in the first half of the year. You know, the second half of the year looks so stacked. It's going to be huge. Like, I'm starting right off with Donkey Kong Bonanza coming out in a couple days. I cannot wait to play that. I will have a first impressions video of that coming up, but the rest of the year is very exciting to look forward to. Let me know what's in your top 5 list of the year so far. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.